Narcissists will constantly play fast and loose with reality and will guilt you mercilessly for not believing the version that they try to sell you. And I do mean version, because one of the things that we mistake is that a narcissist has only one version of reality that they're selling. The truth is that they have numerous streams flowing at any given time, and they keep track of which reality they're selling to which people, and they will have a different one for each group. Now, as a partner of a narcissist, you'll probably have a very specific reality being sold to you, which may overlap in some areas with people that both of you know. But the narcissist will definitely have realities with people that you know that differ from the one that they try and sell to you. And they will read people well enough to be able to determine how far they can take it, how much of a difference between stories they can give them to the one that they've given you when you all know each other. This is where they'll often use tactics like misrepresenting you. They'll say things like, oh, she doesn't like to be bothered with that sort of thing, so we'll just keep it between us. Or maybe they'll isolate you from the people that you know, so there's less likelihood of you discussing certain topics with other people. Or they'll always be present around you when those people are around you, so that they can monitor what's being said. You better believe narcissists will monitor. They won't show it. You have to be aware and looking for it. If they know that others around you are dangerous to their narrative, you'll see that their energy will change. Some are more effective at hiding it than others, but you'll almost feel like an antenna go up. They'll be more vigilant. They'll feel more alert, and you'll see them sort of hovering because they're trying to curate and manage the interaction without appearing to do so. So yes, narcissists will have multiple streams of reality that they're selling different people, and they will orchestrate it such that you may unknowingly reinforce a version of reality they're trying to sell to someone else because you believe the version they've sold you. So you might have been told that the narcissist has a certain occupation, and you've seen them have the accoutrements of that occupation, and you believed it unquestioningly because you didn't think to doubt. And then when they're with you in the presence of other people, they'll use that to vet themselves, because they'll say to the other people, oh, this is what I do for work. And the people will smile, they'll look at the narcissist, they'll look at you, you'll nod. Done. You've already served the narcissist agenda. That's how easy it can happen. That's how subtle it can be. And they need you to go along with this. As I said, if you don't, they'll start guilting you mercilessly, because all of their plans will start to crumble. Their reality will start to shake. You are a threat. You are a problem. In fact, this is not the case. You're trying to live a normal life. You're trying to live within reality in a functional way. The problem is them. They're trying to cast spells on people. They're trying to manipulate reality. But within the context of their schemes, you come across as a threat because you're not playing along. And that's what they want. They want minions to play along, serving the purposes, playing the roles, reinforcing the narrative unknowingly. But yes, it can be surprising, it can be shocking, upsetting to find out that not only is the narrative that you suspect is false the one going, there are others as well. I was talking to a lady yesterday where her sister displays narcissistic tendencies, so she's well aware of how her sister operates because she's seen this various versions of this behavior over the years growing up with her sister and even into adulthood. But even she was dismayed and caught off guard by the wily schemes of her narcissistic sister, because it is so unnatural and so unfair the way they use these techniques against unsuspecting people, and even against those who suspect. Like, she knows her sister, and the sister would know that she knows. It doesn't stop them, it doesn't change. In her circumstance, the sister was telling her that she had cancer. Now, the lady I was speaking to knows what kind of schemes her sister's always up to play the victim and to obtain things that no one would give her if they didn't think that she was unwell. So she was sort of looking at it through that lens and kind of picking apart the sister's story. Now, the sister was guilting her and saying, oh, I have cancer and you haven't come to see me. And so she says, I wasn't aware. I'll come with you to your next doctor's appointment. And the sister starts making lots of excuses and saying all kinds of strange things, which clearly was some sort of deflection. And after some time, this woman got upset and angry, knowing what her sister's like. She said, you know what? I don't really believe that you have cancer. I've seen the schemes that you've done in the past. I've seen how you've behaved like a hypochondriac so that you can get various things. And now when I've offered to support you and come with you to the doctor, you're coming up with strange excuses after saying I don't support you. And then when I'm willing to, you don't want it. So I don't believe that you have cancer. So of course, the narcissistic sister knows what to do now. She starts the guilt trip. She starts fussing and saying, how could you? I have cancer and you're treating me like this and you're not believing me. So that whole narcissistic rage, that whole tirade happens. But this lady is firm. She says, look, all right, but I've seen this sort of behavior from you before. You're not willing for me to go with you to the doctor, so I don't believe you. She stood her ground. So good for her. So the narcissistic sister slams the phone, as it were. She hangs up on her. And so the lady just takes it at face value as much as she can. She knows that her sister was probably just trying to play the victim so that she can control people's emotions and control people in the family. And yes, this was around Christmas time. And narcissists will often try and disturb people's good times by making it about themselves and their problems. But what was interesting was this lady, who has a narcissistic sister, she has a son. Now that son had gone to have Christmas with the narcissistic sister and the rest of the family. And this son then later spoke to this lady, and this lady told her son about the interaction she had had. She said, oh, your auntie says that she has cancer, and I offered to go to the hospital with her. And she said no, and she made a fuss, so I said, I don't believe you have cancer. And then she made me feel bad, and then she said that I wasn't supporting her. and then she hung up on me. So just think about this. This narcissistic sister potentially has sold this whole lie. And when the lie wasn't bought, the lady was guilted. And then when she stood up for herself, she was guilted even more. But she stood her ground. And then what does she hear from her son? The son says, oh, when I went for Christmas with Auntie and the rest of the family, everyone's celebrating Auntie. Why? Because Auntie's getting engaged. So a whole different reality was being played out in another place with that narcissistic sister. She was having a happy Christmas, being the center of attention because she's telling everyone that she's getting engaged. So everyone is going, oh, wow, congratulations. Remember, it's Christmas. But she's making it about her engagement. Fine, very good. And that, whether it's true or not, the engagement of the narcissistic sister, that's a happy thing. But she didn't choose to share that with the sister that she called. No, she had a different reality to present to her and a different supply to obtain from her. One based around acting the victim, guilt-tripping, gaslighting, and extracting suffering from this lady that I was speaking to, while at the same time, she would have been at her family house at a happy Christmas gathering, getting all the attention because she was getting engaged and getting a different supply simultaneously, unbeknownst to the two parties. And the more sophisticated the narcissists are, the more of this reality streams they will have running concurrently, simultaneously, unbeknownst to you, unbeknownst to all the other supply. This is why they isolate us from each other, so that we don't talk to each other and bring all these things together and see how we are being played. So, just a little reality check for you. When dealing with a narcissist, like I say, they play fast and loose with reality, and they will guilt you for not buying into the one they're trying to sell you. And you will be just one person, one supply, amidst many, all being sold different tales, different realities, to reinforce this structure that is the narcissist's identity, the narcissist's view of themselves, which threatens to collapse constantly. So they're constantly maintaining it, constantly building it at yours and others' expense. I hope you learned something today. Thank you so much for listening to the message. Please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. Till next time.